Former President Donald Trump's legal battles continue to grow. Yesterday, he was arraigned in federal court in Miami, pleading not guilty to 37 charges related to alleged mishandling of classified documents. For more on this historic legal battle, and we're bringing in our legal analyst, Whitney Traylor, we're talking about a lot of things, including the judge in this case that so much discussion has been about, like, would she recuse herself or could she? And you said no. Just because you're appointed by a president, that's not enough reason to say, I'm not going to handle this.
No, that is not a basis for recusal, and it shouldn't be, because every judge, every federal judge is going to be appointed by a president, and they have these appointments. And so here, she was appointed by Trump.
You can't say that's a bias for me.
No, and that should not be.
Although that earlier ruling that was overturned, many people thought that may be some of the basis for that potentiality, or at least the perception of bias.
It is, yeah, definitely, that she was appointed and that she was overturned by the appellate court, but on a favorable ruling to former President Trump. That in and of itself doesn't mean that there's bias just because she got overturned. But the fact that she was appointed by him, she may be conservative, is not enough for recusal, and it shouldn't be. I really want, as an electorate, the judiciary needs to remain objective. I know it's become politicized in the last 4 to 8 years, but it really shouldn't be, because they're the arbiters. They're the ones, when we have a dispute, we need to trust in their decision. Now, this person, whether she gets recused, just the fact that she was appointed by him, I don't think is enough
for recusal.
Right? No, it's actually, yes, it could be her call, but somebody could make a motion for recusal. So, for example, one of my best friends, Judge Durancy, she's a Denver District Court. If I ended up in front of her court, she would make a motion to recuse and say, look, this is one of my best friends. If she didn't, I would make the motion to recuse.
Right.
Sure.
And certainly whoever is opposing you in court, somebody
if they
would
knew about it,
yeah, the other person would do.
Let's talk about the indictments. What do you see in these indictments? Obviously, there's a lot in here that some of it includes many of the most indictable aspects of it include the former president's own words.
And that's what's really damaging. I read the full 49-page indictment, and really what it boils down to is the retention of these national documents and then the obstruction of justice, trying to avoid turning them over. And this all started in May of 2021 when the National Archives started reaching out saying, hey, you have these documents. And he kept putting them off, eventually turned over some documents, but that's when they realized he's not turning everything over. So they then went to the FBI. The FBI, then a grand jury was convened, then the subpoenas were issued, and that's when and if you read the indictment, and I would encourage folks to really do so, because if you read the indictment, you will see from his own words, from text messages, this is what's in the indictment. I think the U.S. attorneys are going to be able to prove this. There was a lot of evidence that he was trying to hide documents. He went through some of the boxes trying to pull documents himself, and there were a number of top secret documents.
Well, you just said it. I mean, it sounds like it was easy to indict, but you think it's also, from what's in the indictment, if proven, it's going to be easy to prove to convict as well.
I think so, because here you have the text messages. I mean, I've had cases where we had to get a computer forensics, and they went in and they were able to pull every keystroke that was punched, every text message that was sent. And here and that's why the conspiracy charge is so strong. There's a number of strong text messages, at least in the indictment, showing that he knew about it, that he was trying to hide these boxes, that, in fact, the aides were saying we're trying to get him to go through it. They were trying to go through the boxes of documents. He wanted to go through them before even his own lawyers. And that's part of the problem. One of his lawyers went through 30 boxes, pulled out all the documents that were classified, but he had withheld 35 boxes from his own lawyers.
This is according to the indictment.
Thank you. According to the indictment, but this is the Department of Justice. These are the U.S. Attorney Generals. If it's in the indictment, they're going to be able to prove it. So, but yes, there is, and they've emphasized this, there's a presumption of innocence until it's been proven he is innocent. So yes.
His team is contending that there's prosecutorial misconduct. I don't think they know if they can or can't win the case. Yeah. But they can try to prevent the case from going forward.
They can, and from what I'm seeing, there's just no basis. I mean, this all started from the National Archives, and the National Archives involving they made months and months of requests, and they said, he's not turning everything over. And then the allegations, again, his own words, where he was with aides, he was with the representative of his PAC, and he was saying, well, these documents are classified. I'm not supposed to show you. In one of them, it was a map, a war map, some strategy, and he said, well, don't stand too close to it. This is what was in the indictment.
And these are really text messages from other people, since he never texts, and he never, ever does a text message himself.
Some of the texts were from his aides that said, POTUS had my phone. Sorry for the delay. So, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whitney, this is going to be something we're going to talk about quite a bit, so we'll have you back, and we'll certainly be talking more about this as it moves
Because
forward.
I think if we want to stay up really late at night, we're all going to read the indictment all the way through.
49 pages.
It's important, and this is how we establish
You just got to take your time to get through it, and you've got the legal mind to do so.
So you got it in 4 minutes, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Whitney.